Good evening to everybody. Welcome to another edition of Libertas. This is Tonino Abana. Our topic for tonight has to do with banking for the poor. Actually, it's microfinance, the Grameen model. Grameen was started in one of the poorest countries in the world in 1976 in Bangladesh. And the model has been very successful in that country and has spread to other countries in the world, including the United States, which is supposed to be one of the richest countries in the world. And tonight we have two guests, distinguished guests. We're very honored to have someone who started the bank with with the founder of the bank, Dr. Yunus in Bangladesh. He spent 25 years with Grameen Bank, Bangladesh, and he founded Grameen America after his stint with Grameen Bank in Bangladesh. I'd like everyone to welcome Mr. Shah Newaz. Good evening, Shah.
Good evening.
It's good to have someone, an expert on the Grameen model here with us tonight.
Thank you.
And here to help us and to join us is someone from Grameen Australia, Philippines, the local counterpart of Grameen here in the Philippines, Mr. Leo Alforte. Leo is actually a social entrepreneur, basically, and someone who's very familiar with mass movements and social enterprise development. So let's start with this question. How did Grameen start in Bangladesh? And tell us a little bit about its founder.
Thank you for inviting me to your program. So Grameen actually started a very informal way. It started from the Professor Yunus pocket money, $27 to 42 people during the famine in Bangladesh, which was in 1974. There was a severe food crisis. People were dying, starving, and every day the national newspaper they covers the people's 100 people died in the north area, south area. At the time, the Professor Yunus, he was teaching economics in Chittagong University. He was trying to get the answer or solutions during that time. So because he's the economist, he was teaching lecture to the classroom. Every day he is explaining how to develop a business, how to develop the economic developments of the country. But the problem was the people, they were starving. They did not find their food. And the rural people, they moved to rural area, to urban area, shouting on the state that we need job, we need food. The government tried to open a lot of street kitchen, but the food was not sufficient. So he tried to get answer from different economics books, tax, but he did not find any answer. That's why he went to the village to talk with the peoples. So what are the reasons the peoples were dying, they are starving, no job. Then he discovered that some peoples, they need a very small amount of capital, but they did not have that capital. So he listed in that village 42 peoples, and these 42 peoples, they need, the total money is 856 taka, which is less than $27. So he did not think anything, and he did not have any option, just he gave that $27 from his own pocket to 42 peoples. That was the beginning of Grameen's story. So he thought that he did a great job to solve the 42 people's the problem, so now they can start their business, the business they used to do. But later he thought that that is not the solution to give the money from the personal pocket. He wanted to make a bridge between these poor people, those who are wanting some very little capital, and the financial organization. He went to the bank and requested the bank manager to provide loans to these poorest peoples. But the bank said that they cannot do that because the bank is completely security oriented, collateral oriented, and these poor people, they don't have any asset, they are not skilled, they are not educated, so it is not credit worthy. But then Professor Yunus asks, how many people in my country, like Bangladesh, can give you collaterals? The bank manager said that maybe 5 or 10. Then he said that means the 90 to 95% people are not, they are out of the banking service. So you are talking about the financial institution doing business with the 5 to 10% people. This is not the right. So that was the start, but he did not stop. He tried to contact with the higher authority. And finally, he convinced the bank's higher authority to provide some loan, but one condition that if the poor people, they fail to repay, the Professor Yunus himself is the grantor.
Oh.
The government can take all the legal action against Professor Yunus. He agreed, and he received that money. And then he came back to the university and talked to his student to help his program as a volunteer. And some students, they came forwards and they worked with his program. And then he gave that money to the poor people. It was the time of 1976. That was the beginning of the Grameen. And day by day, the program has been increasing.
That's an amazing story. So, you know, the word Grameen is now known worldwide. Mga kasama, yung Grameen po is a type of microfinance na naging pinasimulan sa Bangladesh. Dahil yung Bangladesh is a poor country. And based on the story, walang magpautang sa mga mahihirap. Nobody wanted to lend money to the poor people. So Dr. Yunus decided to spearhead the movement to start this bank na magpautang sa mga mahihirap dahil for him as an economist, he feels or he felt at that time, until now, that the way out of poverty is to be able to provide capital dun sa mga hindi makautang sa regular na bangko. Kaya napakaganda ng storya and it expanded now even to the United States. Meron ng Grameen Bank sa United States. But before we go there, I'd like to talk to Leo Alforte. Nagtayo ngayon ng Grameen dito sa Pilipinas, Leo. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about Grameen Australia, Philippines and what your goal is here in the Philippines.
Okay. So, yung Grameen Australia ay replicator po siya ng Grameen model, no? Championed and successful sa Bangladesh at sa iba pang bansa. So, ito po ay nag-start dito sa noong 2014. Okay. Dahil nga din dun sa ang mission po ng Grameen Australia Philippines ay to use education, technology, and microfinance for poverty alleviation. No? Dahil po ganoon din po, tulad ng sa Bangladesh, ang mahirap pong mga pamilyang Pilipino ay karaniwan, uneducated, walang kapital, hindi siya bankable. No? So, ang pinakamabilis na paraan para makalika ng kabuhayan ay ang sa pagninegosyo. No? So, ito po yung naging paraan sa panggitan po ng Grameen model na simulan dito sa Pilipinas.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about how the Grameen model is different from other microfinance models?
Yeah.
How is it different?
The Grameen model is popularly known as the group-based models.
Group-based model.
Grameen means the group-based models. This is one of the different, many microfinance organizations, they are working individual loans, and some microfinance, they need the grantor, something like that. But in the Grameen, no collaterals, no granting, no grant required. Just we need a group of 5 of the same neighborhood. So this is one of the difference. And Grameen is, our main objective is to poverty alleviation. So Grameen always giving priority to the poorest of the poor. We start with the bottom, not the up of the poor. And that is the Grameen specialities, you know.
So, Leo, how are you adapting this
Yes.
model in the Philippine setting?
So, actually po, dahil bago po mag-set up yung Grameen Australia Philippines, ay marami ng microfinance institution.
Oo.
Okay? Ang modelo po natin ay, yun nga, nag-organize tayo ng mga grupo ng mga kababaihan, no? Ng 5. At ito po kasi ang parang yun po kasi yung parang doon nagmumula yung lakas at sabihin nating pagkakaisa ng mga nanay na doon sa 5 iyon, no? At mula po doon ay magbubuo po tayo yung from 5 sa Grameen Philippines po ay mula sa 5 groups, we organize them into 4 groups, so 20. Ang tawag po namin doon ay isang center. Ang isang center ay meron pong weekly meeting integrated sa weekly collection. Kasi po ang Grameen ay weekly collection ng kanilang loan. So, sa ganun pong ay malaking bagay po yon sa kinagkikita-kita. Bukod pa ay yung 5 at yung 20 na member nito ang siyang nagsisikap na magkatulungan among themselves. So, ito po yung parang social,
Yeah, anong interest rate ang charge niyo?
Sa amin po ay 1% per month.
1% per month. Collected weekly.
Collected weekly.
And then
6 months ang terms. So, sa ngayon po ay babayaran po yung ng isang nanay yon in 26 weeks.
Okay. Mr. Shah Newaz, the model of group borrowing, not necessarily that the group guarantees each other's payment, right? But you've introduced a system whereby you have a support mechanism among the community. Was that the plan of Dr. Yunus in Bangladesh? And how did it work there, and how will it work here?
It's a very interesting question. I'm explaining the background of the group. So when Professor Yunus started the programs in 1976, at that time, the poor people, they always very scared about to receive the loan, because they thought that if they failed, so they would be the jail. The another people, those who are above 55 or 60 years, so they are very scared to receive the loan, because they thought that if they fail to repay and they die, they will not get heaven. So these are the two conceptions. Some, they need capital, but they are not interested to borrow money. So then Professor Yunus said that it is better to make a group of same community, so one can understand, but they can get confidence to others.
We'll be going for the break. Please don't go away. This is a very interesting discussion. We'll be back with our experts from Grameen Bank. Welcome back to Libertas. This is Tonino Abana with our special guests from Grameen Bank. And we're very fortunate to have Mr. Shah Newaz, who's here in the Philippines for only a few days. He's leaving tomorrow back to New York, where he was the founder of Grameen USA, but he spent 25 years with Grameen in Bangladesh with the founder, Dr. Yunus. So we're very fortunate to have him Before the break, he was explaining the difference between Grameen Bank or the Grameen banking model and other microfinance models.
Yeah, there's another point of difference. Normally, the many microfinance organizations, they requires the business. The borrower, the potential member, they must have a business. In the Grameen's model is different. In Grameen, Grameen does not need any business requirement. If they have a business, they can use the Grameen loan to their capital. If they don't have a business, they can try. They can start up a new business. It is because these poor people, the low-income people, they did not have any opportunity to check, to verify their skills. So this is the first time. So that's why this is one of the difference. Another thing, the question was the group conceptions. Already I mentioned about that. So the group 5, when they are the 5 people, they talk each other and they feel confidence. The group is actually the significance of the group is to build up the confidence of other peoples and to make a social interactions, a confidence, so that now they feel comforts and they can help each others. But loan is the individuals.
Leo, you're supposed to adapt these systems and these methodologies, these principles from Grameen, the founder, downloaded to you. Do you see any difficulty or differences that will make it difficult to do that here in the Philippines?
Una siguro kung parang adaptable siya dahil isa sa mga Filipino values ay yung bayanihan. At sa pangkaraniwan, yung mga kapwa mahihirap, sila yung nagmamalasakitan. So yung groupings ay kumbaga parang adaptable. So yung ilang mga ikalawa, sa bahagi namin, tama yung sinasabi ni Shah Newaz na open kami dun sa kahit walang negosyo, pero handang magsimula. No? Kaya dun sa aming 26 weeks ay integrated yung learning modules. Like, isa sa mga unang modules namin ay start your own business. So, para i-build in natin yung kapasidad.
So, linawin lang natin, the loan is basically for a business.
Yes.
It can't be used for emergency purposes. Yes. Someone giving birth, kailangan ng, for medical reasons. It's not for that.
Yes.
It's
Experience namin ay para makalikha siya ng pangkabuhayan. Kasi yun yung kulang.
Okay. I'd like to go back to Shah Newaz. You've had experience all over the world. With South America, you also started this in South America, in some countries there. You've spoken in China, in Honduras, all over, because this Grameen system works. Can you explain to us here, to the audience, how this will reduce poverty in a country? How does this system, how does this method, this banking system, reduce poverty?
Yeah, thank you. The reduced poverty, you see the financial developments always grow very slow. It's not possible overnight. I'm giving some example in USA first, and then I will give some example to Bangladesh also. USA, it has been running about 11 years. And I saw that in USA, there is many people, they start this business, for example, the flower business. They are the street vendors. They are selling flower door to door among their friends and others in the neighborhood. But when they start the business with the Grameen loans, then they incorporate other product with their flower business, and now they have a store. In the beauty salon is the very common business, salon, the beauty salons in USA and the South America also. So normally these low-income people, they rent a chair of the beauty salon. The beauty salon is a big investment, they cannot afford it, but they just rent a chair, say $100 or $200. And once they receive the loan from Grameen America, then they set up another chair at their houses. So now they are doing two chairs, and now their rent is paid. Sub-rent is not the full rent. And now they set another chair, 3 chairs, and now they hired either their daughters or new people, and that's why they're developing their business. So before they were sub-rented house, it's a very small house, now they are renting a bigger house. Their food habit changed, their others, supports, they can provide more support to their children. This is the development. In Bangladesh, after 25 years, when I worked there, I saw that many of our borrowers, they are landless, they don't have any land, only their house. Now they have some agricultural land, they have a grocery shop, they have a big 2-3 cows, yeah. So these are the development. They already crossed the poverty lines. In Grameen Bank, we have a 10 indicator to measure the poverty. So 60% of Grameen borrowers, they already crossed the poverty line. And every year, 5% people, they are crossing that poverty line according to the Bangladesh socio-economics, the context. In USA also, there is many people, they are developing their business, and you know, the United States credit score is a very important part. If you don't have a credit score, you cannot get any support. So before Grameen, we have a 64,000 borrowers at present. So these 64,000 borrowers, they are unbanked before. So after getting Grameen programs, after 10 years, average their credit score, because the Grameen America, we link with the credit bureaus, average the credit score is 700. 800 is the top, you know. And some of our borrowers, they already exceed 750 credit score. So now these people, they are eligible to get any financial loan from any financial organizations. So these are the developments is happening every day.
Okay, so basically, mga kasama, what the Grameen model is, what the Grameen Bank did in Bangladesh is to tap yung mga area na hindi makakuha ng loan sa mga commercial banks. So they lend money to the poorest of the poor without any collateral.
Exactly.
And then the repayment experience has been very good.
Very good.
How many percent, sir, is the
In
repayment?
Bangladesh is a 98%.
Okay, 98%. So, yung sinasabi nga nila, pag ang mahirap ng utang, ang taas pala ng repayment rate, 98%. Pero yung regular banks, medyo mas mababa dun ang repayment rate dun. So, Leo, you have been operating here in the Philippines for a couple of years.
Yes.
What's the experience on the repayment rate? And are you also lending to the poorest of the poor?
Yes. Yun yung target clients, no, ng Grameen, ang poorest of the poor, no. Siguro ang isang maganda experience namin diyan sa Taytay. Okay? Ang Taytay ay karamihan diyan ay mananahe. Okay? So we provided loans in group sa mga mananahe. Ang unang loan nila ay para makabili ng high-speed sewing machine, no? Para dun sa kanilang mga mananahe, no? So, yung kasabay nung pagdami nila ay nagsimula kami sa 5, 15. So, ngayon, meron na kaming 100 members na mga mananahe. Pero, hindi huminto doon eh. So, ang next move noon, dahil inorganize namin sila into cooperative para una, maging organized yung production. At the same time, magkaroon ng market dun sa produkto nila. At mula doon, ay meron na silang, yung kanilang mga basahan, ay meron na silang regular na pinagdadalhan. So, yung naging resulta nito, una, na-organize yung production. Ikalawa, mas nakakuha sila ng mas mataas na presyo dun sa produkto. At ikatlo, naging regular pa. At ikaapat, may mga down the line na mga nanay na natulungan para sa assembly line ng mga produkto.
I just find it very interesting, Shah Newaz. You came from one of the poorest countries, started this banking for the poor with Grameen. And then now you founded the same type of model in one of the richest countries in the world, which is the US. So why did you decide to open a bank in the US when the banking penetration in the US is very high?
Yeah, thank you. This is very interesting questions. Actually, the poor is all over the world, even in the United States. When I started the program in USA, their poverty percentage is 14%,
14.
and 41.4%, and the percentage was growing up. That is one of the reasons. And another thing is, Professor Yunus, when asked me to go New York to start up the bank, then I said, sir, this is the richest country. How can I adopt this principle there? Because before I start, I work in Spanish countries, Dominican Republics and other countries. But sir, this is the richest country. Professor Yunus said that, so the education you have, the knowledge you have, that is enough to start up this program there. And when I went there, that's very interesting. That you know that everybody, they know that American is very much individual minded. So how can I work as a group concept there?
Yes.
So that is very individual. But actually, you know that the individual minded is still correct. The people of America, they don't know who is living the next door. And that is not the community like your Manila, Philippines, and Bangladesh. In our community means the people, they know each other for a long time, and sometimes they are relatives. But the United States, one is living here, she is from Mexican, another is Colombian, another is Guatemala, another is Asian country, like that. So how can this model work there? But thing is that these are the poor people. These are the low-income people. They don't say poor, low-income people. They're rejected from the bank, but they need the capital. Then they have a same necessity. On the basis of their necessity, their requirements, they organize group among themselves. And that the program has been running there very successfully.
That's amazing. That's an amazing story. I mean, the model works even in the richest country. So that means there are always poor people even in the richest country, and there are people that are not serviced by the banks.
Yes.
And that is your market.
That is the main reasons.
Ngayon, we'll be going for the break. After the break, I'll give you the number, yung telephone number ng Grameen. Alam ko maraming tumatawag. There's so many people texting right now. But the common question is, are you available in our province? Can we borrow in our province, in this city? So I'll give you the number. Don't go away. This is Tonino Abana from Libertas. Welcome back to Libertas. This is Tonino Abana. We're discussing Grameen banking for the poor. And ang objective ng Grameen is to service yung mga hindi pinapautang ng regular banks. Ang problema, hindi pa sila ganun ka-widespread. Pero I know a lot of you are calling or texting. I will announce the number of Grameen on air. Ilista nyo na lang, dito na lang kayo mag-text at tumawag. Here is the number of Grameen. Please list this. 0917-127-0917. I will repeat. 0917-127-0917. Diyan na lang kayo mag-text directly to them kung may katanungan kayo. And I'll ask Leo Alforte, where do you operate right now, and are you planning to cover nationwide Philippines?
So sa ngayon po, ang major area namin ay sa Metro Manila. But we have some engagement na sa Tanay, Eastern Rizal area, Laguna, eastern part ng Laguna, hanggang Santa Cruz, Laguna from Siniluan, and dito po sa Cavite hanggang Dasmariñas. At sa Bulacan, San Jose del Monte, Bulacan. So as of now po, yun pa lang yung aming area na meron kaming operation, but definitely as years to come, we'll going expand to other areas.
Another phenomenon that I'd like to ask Shah Newaz is the profile of the Grameen borrower is basically majority women. Majority women. And as we know, it started in Bangladesh, which is actually a Muslim country. There's a misconception that the women are not preferred or doesn't have equal status in a Muslim country. And yet, in Bangladesh, the preference of Grameen Bank are women. Maybe you can explain that.
Yeah, thank you. This is also very interesting subjects you mentioned. Before answer this question, just I am giving you some information which we did not provide you. One thing is you explained that this loan cannot be used for medical purpose and other purpose. That's why in the Grameen program we have a saving program from the beginning. So in that type of emergency with medical purpose, they can use their savings. This is the one. Another thing I did not mention is about the Grameen America repayment rate. Grameen America repayment rate is 10 years, 99.7%.
Wow, that's almost 100%.
Yeah, it is more than Bangladesh.
Yeah.
You can ask me why. Because we started the Grameen America after 25 years experience.
Okay.
So now
Alright.
we are too much skilled, and the Manila program will be like that.
Wow.
So now the questions of the women. You know that actually our main objective is to poverty alleviation. That is the main objective. Poverty alleviation, not a person, is a family. So when we started, we lend monies to the men and women also. But actually the poverty is more women issue than the man. And in our system, we need a regular attendance, weekly attendance to provide guidance, to provide training, how to utilize the loan, about the financial training. So attendance is very important, weekly attendance. In our experience, we found that the women, they can attend very regularly because this is the community-based program. We are going to their community. They don't need to come to the bank. And another thing is that when women, they increase their business, they increase their income, so that benefit directly goes to children and the family. So that's why we think that because this is the family poverty alleviation program, it is better to go through women. Yes, in Muslim country it was difficult. Difficult means we try to convince first women, then women, they need to get permission from their husband, and then they join. So that times, initially it took longer time. But later on, their husband, they found that they also joined their family business, and they found that it is easy for women to attend the center meeting in the early in the morning. So they also encourage. So that problems now we don't face. In USA also, we don't face that problem because the men, sometimes they cannot attend. They can travel to one area to other area for their business. They don't come to attend the meeting. But for women, they are always remains with their children, and they are always in the house, and it is easy for them to attend the meeting. So that's why the women concentration. And women concentration does not mean that we are women oriented. This is called family business. Mm-hmm. The whole family can join, can involve with the business.
But the interesting thing is, this is a universal thing that there's a universal principle that you have adopted, or the Grameen model has adopted all over the world, in any place. It's majority women borrowers everywhere in the world. Yes, for Grameen.
Right. Yeah, right. Now you are exactly what you mentioned is the right. If you ask me how many countries Grameen's model is working, it is difficult for me to answer. But right. If you ask me how many countries they are not adopting, I can give you the answer. So some they are using in the name of the Grameen, so they have to follow all the Grameen procedure. but some adapting this procedure into their program. They have a program, but they are adapting their program. They have, say, health program, they have some other educational program, and now they interested to adopt the microfinance. Then they are adapting this model. For example, I work in Dominican Republic. They have a program that is called Esperanza International Dominican Republic. But when they start the Grameen microfinance, they adopt the Grameen model. They are not using the Grameen, but Grameen program is working there. So a lot of countries, they are adopting this program.
Well, what would you attribute the high percentage of good loans? What would you attribute the very high repayment, the very high repayment percentage for these startups, for the poorest of the poor? Is it the group borrowing, or are there other principles behind that?
Yeah, it's very good questions. And people, they are interested to know how we maintain 99.7% repayment rate. Actually, thing is that we have some technique. The technique is when they receive the loan, they have to utilize within 7 days, and we check it, and we are ensuring their loan utilizations. And Professor Inu says that if you ensure the loan utilization, that will ensure your repayment. This is the one reason. And second thing is that when they start up the business is growing, they need more money. So if they don't repay, they cannot get the next loan. So because it is their program and this is only the source, they have excess, so they want to continue with this source because they are getting benefit. That is another success of the repayment.
But as we all know, sometimes it can be the temptation to use it for consumption, for daily use, for food, is so high because you're lending to the poorest of the poor or the low income. So how do you train them not to have the discipline not to use it for consumption, even if they need it?
Even they need it, if they are emergency, they can use. That's why I mentioned you that we have a saving program simultaneously. So that savings program, they are depositing weekly basis. It's not monthly basis, and it is compulsory. So if they need, so for any purpose, they can withdraw 50%. But for any emergency, they can withdraw 100%. This is the one thing. Second thing is for emergency food crisis or other things, we have a subsidiary loan system. So we are giving that loan. For example, Bangladesh, is a lot of natural disaster, is a flood-prone country. In that situation, we have a disaster management program. That means we stop repayment for 3 months, for 2 months, so they can first, they need to survive. And when they start business again, and if they need any new capitals, we provide extra capital. So we have that system how to manage in disaster time.
Okay, for taking the time to be our guest here, I'd like to give you these gift certificates from Vine Holistic Aesthetic Clinic. They specialize in anti-aging and personal aesthetics. So I'll announce their number. Vine Holistic Clinic number is 0998 596 7081. Our time is running very short now. It's almost an hour, and I'd like to give this opportunity for you to give your parting message. Maybe we can start with Leo and then end with Shah Newaz. Leo?
Okay. Salamat sa opportunity na to, na mag-invite dito. So siguro sa bahagi ng Grameen Australia Philippines ay we provide microcredit loans, sa mga enterprising poor women, na handang pumaloob sa grupo at matuto at mapaunlad yung kanilang negosyo. At the same time po ay makatulong din tayo sa iba nating mga kapwa, mga micro-entrepreneurs, at dito lang po natin makakalikha tayo ng ayon sa ating sariling pagsisikap at ikalawa, dito po kilala yung Pinoy, sa diskarte. Kaya siguro po yung amin pong microcredit program services ay maaari niyong ma-access, no, sa pamamagitan po ng pagtawag dun sa telepono na binanggit ni Sir. Salamat po.
Thank you again to give me the opportunity to explain something about the Grameen America and the Grameen Bank. I have the opportunity to visit the Grameen Australia Manila program, and I'm very much impressed. They are adopting the Grameen model exactly, and I wish their success. And if I will have any opportunity, so I will come again to see their success. Thank you very much again to you and the peoples of Filipino.
So, yan, marami tayong natutunan ngayong gabi. One way for this country to move out of poverty is to be able to tap and to be able to service the people who are not serviced by the regular banking community. Basic lang ang tinuturo ng ang prinsipyo ng Grameen. Para umangat ang mahihirap, kailangan bigyan natin sila ng access sa credit para makapagnegosyo sila and they can become they can contribute to the economy and to society. And ulitin ko yung number ng Grameen bago tayo mag-end para hindi yung mga hindi nakakuha ng number, ito ulit yung number nila, 0917-127-0917. This is Tonino Abana, Libertas, signing off. Thank you so much.